The Scottish Parliament is often at its best when people can see beyond the tribal divisions, work across party lines. You don't have to forget your differences to do that, but you have to focus on the common ground. The tax credit issue, for example, is something that unites most political parties in Scotland opposing the UK government's cuts to tax credits. We are only going to be able to achieve something meaningful if we do manage to find a way to work together on that. And so the divisive rhetoric that's come out, particularly between Labour and the SNP and that in recent weeks, has been very dispiriting. Greens will argue to move beyond that divisiveness and find a common ground approach to make sure that we can protect the interests of people affected by those cuts in Scotland. That is happening on opposition to the trade union bill, where although there are differences, most political parties in Scotland oppose the UK government's attack on the rights of people to organise in the workplace and for trade unions to be able to take industrial action when they need to. I hope that we're going to see that strength of opposition to that vicious trade union bill continue to grow in Scotland. This week was marked more than anything though by a recognition of the impact on the people of Paris and France by the terrorist atrocities at the end of last week. A motion of condolence was of course passed by all members of the Scottish Parliament. It's also important to see the context in which that happens. Huge numbers of lives are lost, not just by terrorist incidents, but by illegal action by states around the world, including historically incidents that the UK state has got responsibility for. We do need to oppose the atrocities committed by criminals in Paris, but we need to put that in context as well and make sure that we're arguing for a peaceful world in future. Back in Glasgow this week, I had the pleasure of meeting with some young women who are on the Women into Engineering course at the Riverside College campus. It's a fantastic issue, how to make sure that the STEM subjects are attractive to young women starting their educational careers or going into the workplace. And it was great to see a college really putting that into practice and giving young women an environment where they're not the only one or two women in a much bigger class, but actually seeing the opportunities to support one another in the educational environment, and hopefully that will filter through into the workplace as well. Thanks very much for watching. We'll have more updates from what's happening inside and outside the Scottish Parliament in the weeks ahead.